joining me on the Terror Machine. This is your monthly love reading for the month of July 2017, and this will be for the sign of Gemini. So let me go ahead and give these cards a shuffle to see what overall um, message you'll be working with for the month. Oop, one fell out real quick. You got the card of wisdom. So when it comes to love for singles, it's saying that you need to one make I'm hearing make wise choices when it comes to picking a person to be in a one-on-one relationship with, or display the characteristics to whoever you're talking to get in a one-on-one, that that you are witty, smart, and you have a certain way about yourself and possess this certain type of wisdom about yourself that can help have a person levitate to you for your mind state via versus something else that you may want to offer this person to be in a one-on-one relationship. And if you already coupled up, what it's saying is that use your wisdom when it comes to crafting your relationship to the way you want it, or using good ideas to help build your relationship to a better bond with you and your companion, that you would be analytical but fair and smart about the decisions you make to bring in something new into the relationship that could be beneficial to the both of you. So let me go ahead and give these cards a shuffle to see what energies you be working with for the month. Okay, the first card you have in the middle is the King of Wands in reverse. So, the King of Wands is a person that, if you're single, this person may be a person that comes off kind of lazy or not interested in being in a one-on-one relationship. You may be displaying this to a person, or a person may be displaying this to you, that no matter how you're talking to them, they is not showing no interest of moving forward to be in a relationship. They kind of is standing back on the sidelines, maybe waiting for you to present something else to them before they will make a final decision to try to pursue you to be in a one-on-one relationship. Either you're doing this to somebody or somebody is doing this to you, that they rather sit on the fence line before making they move known that they want to be in a one-on-one relationship with you. If you already coupled up, it's just saying that you or your companion is going to start to kind of relax out in the relationship and take everything more nonchalant when it comes to you bringing something into the relationship that could be beneficial to the both of you. They're not going to even try to focus on it, or they're not going to take the energy to kind of work on whatever you suggesting to be in a whatever your suggestion that could help the relationship. They're not going to move as fast to it, because maybe they're focused on something else, or something else is distracting them to not focus on moving on the suggestion you brought into the relationship to make it better. Either you're doing this with your companion, or your companion would be doing this with you. What you have in the underneath you is the Knight of Swords in the upright. So if you're single, you could be meeting, they always say an air sign, but you could be meeting another air sign, or this is you, that when you approach people to talk to them to be in a one-on-one relationship, you're going to display yourself as one a little bit more authoritative and more a little bit more of your mind state. You want to go and display yourself to be in a one-on-one relationship with this person, or talk to them in such a way that you're going to let your mind shine over everything else that you're presenting to this person to be in a one-on-one relationship. Either you're doing this to somebody or somebody will be doing this to you, that they rather display what they know as to be the levitation to be in a relationship with them. And they could be all nights rush in, so this person could rush up on you real fast, or come out the blue with certain things that they're saying that may trigger you to have some interest in them. If you are already coupled up, what it's saying is that maybe it's going to take you to say, maybe either you're doing this with your companion or your companion is doing this to you, that they're going to enter a mind state for whatever is being brought to the table that people is feeling that's going to be a benefit to the relationship. They're going to start to kind of reword it so you can be interested in kind of trying it out to see would it work or would it have a benefit to your relationship. Either your companion's going to do this or you're going to do this, because you may notice no matter what you bring up to your companion, they're not being too interested in it. So you might try another angle to spark your interest from your companion by rewording it a certain way to get them intrigued into being involved into whatever idea that you think will work to make your relationship better. What you have in the past um um is the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. So if you are single, maybe in the past you did not really take a lot of work, you didn't put a lot of energy and work into trying to find a relationship. Maybe, or the person that you meeting came from a past thing that they wasn't really trying to work on a relationship, or trying, they didn't make that they main goal. It was more of they was busy with something else that they felt that was more beneficial to themselves, not really to a relationship as a whole. Maybe this person in the past came at you like this, or was having these feelings, and you was wondering why they wasn't interested in what you was talking about, because they was probably working on something else that they felt would have built them up, instead of trying to build themselves up and build a relationship at the same time. Either somebody in the past came at you like this, or you came at somebody like that, that when they talked to you, you weren't interested because you was zooming in on something else other than getting into a one-on-one relationship at that time with somebody. If you already coupled up, what it's saying is, in the past you didn't, either you did this or your companion did this, that you or both of you could have did it, that whatever was going on at that time, you both decided not to even focus on it and work that issue out that was causing a confliction in your relationship or your one-on-one bond. You kind of threw it to the side because maybe both of y'all was not on the same page to work out the issue, or the timing of each of your things that were popping up was making it more conflicted, and each of you decided to work on different aspects within yourselves to before working on what you can do together to make a better bond in a relationship. Because usually the Eight of Pentacles in reverse is usually a lazy person, but in a relationship it was more of slacking off on the initial thing that you wanted to work on something else. What you have above you is the Tower in the upright for singles. So what it's saying is, going forward, that you could meet somebody that can bring a catastrophic change to you. to how you think about being in a one-on-one relationship, or how you operate in a one-on-one relationship, or having a companion or somebody that you settle down with. So it's saying that this person is going to come in, they're going to appear to you real fast, or either this person's going to be appear to you fast, or you're appearing to somebody else real fast when it comes to being in a one-on-one relationship, and they just kind of get blown off their feet once they meet you or talk to you, because it seems like your word game is super up during the month, that you can basically talk somebody out of their shoes. It's just, it's going to hit this person all of a sudden, because they did not expect you to say what you was going to say or present yourself in a certain way. Either they doing this to you, or you're doing this to them. And another thing is, I'm trying to sit back and hear it, that with this abrupt change, it's a change that is needed for you to progress forward and learning how to be in a one-on-one relationship with somebody. It's just, it's coming at you so fast that it throws you kind of off, and makes you kind of readjust on how to deal with somebody if you get this person in a one-on-one relationship. Either this person is doing it to you, or this or you doing this to somebody else. Another thing I'm getting is, because the tower is more of something from an external factor that hits something that makes a change, you could be meeting this person outside a normal way or a normal environment, or something that you never thought that could ever be a possibility of meeting a person through a certain situation. It's not like a common thing, it's just mostly out of the blue, or just at randomization, that you meet this person. Either they are meeting you, or you're meeting them. If you're already coupled up, it's just saying that moving forward in the month, that I ain't gonna say a sudden change is gonna just wake you up, but it's gonna be certain little patterns or knickknacks that is gonna craft your relationship into a different way of how you deal with each other on a one-on-one basis. Either you're going to be doing this to your companion, or your companion's going to be doing this to you, and you're going to find this to be something strange and out of the blue of this, and you're going to have to learn how to readjust to this new way of how to deal with your companion in a one-on-one situation, or what you're trying to bring into the relationship to make it better. Either your companion is going to be feeling like this, or you're going to be feeling like this. The last card you have is the Page of Cups in the reverse. The Page of Cups in the reverse is what it's saying to me is, this can be another character for singles. This can be another character that's presenting themselves to you. One, they're younger than you, and number two, they're too needy emotional wise. They're very clingy, and they want to be catered to, and they want their emotions to be licked all the time, and they just want to be center of attention all the time, that they're not focusing on something else that could be bringing, that could be a benefit to a relationship. Either you're doing this to somebody, maybe you're the younger person chasing after somebody, or somebody is chasing after you that's a younger person, but they're out of control with their emotions, and their emotions is outweighing everything else that they could offer for a person to be in a one-on-one relationship. They letting their emotions be the all to everything when they come and present themselves to be in a one-on-one relationship with you. If you already coupled up, it's almost going the same way. It's going to hit a period that either you're doing this with your companion, or your companion is doing this with you. Is being overly needy to be center of attention or be the central focus. No matter what is hitting around you, they don't really care. They just want to be reassured that their relationship is still intact, and they're going to be doing this by being super needy on always being present or always needing you to confirm everything before moving forward with new stuff in the relationship. And I ain't gonna say puppy dog, but it's gonna have a weird puppy dog effect, that or emotional thing that's gonna all of a sudden hit your companion, that they just want to be all underneath you because they want the emotional attention during the month. So let me go ahead and get some clarifiers for some of these reversals. Let's just see why the King of Wands in reverse is making themselves known, and why they're not, for singles, why they're not rushing up, and why everything is kind of slacking off on a person's side if they're already coupled up. You got the seven of cups in reverse. So what it is that the person feels, this is if you're single, this person is coming off like this because they're thinking that you will always be around. They ain't lined up nobody else to chase after, and they thinking that you will always be around because the seven of cups in the upright is saying that they have a lot of options, so they can slack off with, trying to rush up on particular people because they're in a fold of many. But in this case, it's doing a reverse. They figuring that person will always be around no matter what. Either you're thinking this about a person you're talking to, or somebody's thinking this about you. No matter if they don't want to rush up on you to be in a run relationship at this present time, what they thinking is that you always are going to be around. No matter if you here right now and gone later, no matter if they come back around, you're still going to be there with them same thoughts or that same emotion for them. And I heard that real clear. If you already coupled up, it's just saying that during this time that your companion is definitely not looking at other options to try to build the relationship better. They're just trying to sit back basically and see if what you're talking about when you're trying to talk about bringing something to build a relationship is going to really be the thing, or you is doing this, or your companion is doing this. They're not moving because this is the only thing you're bringing up in the relationship. It's the only one thing that you're focusing on to make the relationship better. So they're not moving it because it ain't like you brought up a new idea to craft the relationship the way you want it. It's like you is homing in just on this one option, and they're not moving on it because they hearing it time after time after time, and it keeps being brought up. Either you're doing this with your companion, or your companion is doing this to you, because that's what's causing them not to move on this idea that you bring it in, because it's the only idea that you keep bringing up as the kind of fix all to the relationship. Let's see what the second you got the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So for singles, maybe the reason why you're not running up on this person, or this other person is not running up on you, is they having a thought. They got a thought in their head once you talk to them, or they talk to you, that your stuff ain't, it could be solid, but it's not solid enough for them. It's not what they is looking for. It could still have a little, the way you're presenting how solid you is, or independent, or this and that and the other, it still sounds a little bit shaky. It still sounds a little bit off somewhere. So they sitting back and say, okay, you almost sound like you got your stuff two together, and I may can work with you, but something that you're saying is not really sounding right. It's something that is not. It's just not moving them. Either that person is presenting that way to you, that they stuff is not as solid as they trying to make it, or they doing that to you. And that's another reason why whoever this person is that you have interest in is not running up, or you're not running, or this other person, you're not running up on them, because they're saying certain things that how they can be solid in a relationship, but it's certain things that's triggering it off, that's not making you really believe it all the way through. If you already coupled up, what it's saying is that whatever this idea that they bringing up, one, they don't want to disrupt what they already feel that they have solid in the relationship, that they figure they don't want to run up on it because it might throw your foundation off. Whatever this one idea you bringing up to them, and you kind of harping on this one idea and want them to do it, and they're not moving on it, they kind of, I want to say they're kind of reserved about it because they don't want to disrupt what you already built. You built a solid platform of your relationship, and they're not moving on whatever you're talking about because they don't want a disruption to it. Either you're doing this with your companion, or your companion is doing this with you. That's why they're not running up on whatever you're suggesting to them, because they feel it's gonna ruin something you already built. So let's see about the Eight of Pentacles. We'll see what about the Eight of Pentacles. See why you were slacking off. Boop boop boop. You have the King of Cups in reverse. In the past, you was dealing with somebody, Gemini. You was dealing with somebody that was being a super baby. They was being super needy, whiny, bitchy, crying about stuff, letting stuff that you was saying to them hit them too much in the heart. It was like you probably dropped your sword on them and they got butt hurt. And you either dealt with somebody like this in the past, or somebody in the past dealt with you like this, that whatever they was talking about, and you didn't feel like working with them, you already sensed if you try to work with them, it was going to be kind of difficult to work with them, to be in a one-on-one relationship with them, because they was going to let everything you did as a couple hit them the heart, like it was going to be their fault all the time, or they was going to have an emotional hang up all the time, and you just didn't want to deal with that type of person to be in a relationship with. Either somebody got that feeling about you, or you got that feeling about somebody else. If you already coupled up, what it's saying is that in the past you was trying to do you was trying to get your companion off this pattern of all, I don't, it's almost a pattern of codependency, but it's not really that. It's just that this person was so kind of paranoid about what was going on in a relationship. Either you thought this about your companion, or your companion thought about this in the past. That, so to correct that issue out, they decided to always be on you, or they always present, or they was becoming super needy, so you can focus all your attention on them. And that's what maybe this is some residual, and I'm getting this only for couples. This residual pattern is a pattern that it's just bleeding over into this month. It's this it started it out to be your companion being super baby about stuff. Now it moved into this part that they want to be kind of kicking back and being kind of lazy on working on different things in the relationship. It moved from one thing to another thing. I don't know, depending on which one somebody feels is the worst, but it's progressed to something else now. And it's more of progressing to something else to keep some attention on them. This is what I'm getting. It went from one to another, and it still equals the same thing through them. Is, oh, that person is focusing on me, or my wife or husband is focusing on me because first I was a baby, now I'm being kind of lazy. Now they aren't. No matter what, I'm still getting attention the way I want it without putting any more extra effort. Is getting effort in a relationship through a negative reaction. And that's what it is. That's what it seems like is bleeding over in this reading. So let me go ahead and see what else with this king. Yep, you got temperance. Yeah, so basically, for singles, temperance is patience. So what it was saying is, whoever you dealt with in the past that was presenting themselves, and you was trying to analyze it, because most air signs will analyze a lot of information or analyze a person in their presence. What it's saying is, you sat back and just watched that person play themselves out, and by the time their game dried up, you was like, cool, it's over now, I'm gonna tell you, beat it. You was just watching it for entertainment, kind of. Whoever you dealt with in the past, either they was doing this to you or you was doing this to them, and I'm hearing this real bad, that you was kicking back watching them, and you was saying, okay, I'm gonna let you do what you gonna do, and they did everything that they did, show their laziness, being a baby, throwing temper tantrums, and then finally, when it dried up, you said, good, now beat it. Now get away from me. I was just watching you for a minute just to see what was going to go on and get my full view of you. Now you can go. The entertainment is done now, or whatever. Either somebody did this to you or you did this to somebody else. Gemini, don't do that to him. That was cold. Whatever you did to him like that, that was cold. You sat back and watched them play themselves and then kicked them. Wow. I'm done with you. I'm done with you. Okay. For people already coupled up, what it's saying is that you were showing patience during all this phasing that your companion was doing. Either you did this with your companion or your companion did this to you. That during all this, you was still being patient with them, and you was doing the same thing as the singles. You were just waiting till it hit its final road, or where you was going to see where it was going to go. You was being real dedicated and sitting back and watching them do what they going to do, and really not saying nothing. You was really sitting back and analyzing your companion to see, okay, where is this coming from? And you probably did it in a different way than the singles did. The singles did it to find a person. You did it to find out where the source was, why this was all of a sudden coming up, and you was sitting back, and it was like a Rubik's Cube. What they was doing was like a Rubik's Cube. You was trying to figure it out, and it was sort of entertained you, but you found it intriguing because it came up all of a sudden. And then you sat back, let it play out, and then you was trying to analyze it to see if you could have shut this down in such a way and move on to something else that would have built the relationship. Yours came out a little bit different. It's a little bit different on how you sat back and watched your companion do all these things. Either you did this or your companion did this with you. So let's see what the page is hitting with. Okay. You got the Seven of Wands in reverse. So for singles, whoever this person that may be coming at you, it seems like you're not going to be in the mood for them. Basically, usually the Seven of Wands in the upright is like you fighting with the person, and I'm getting this feeling you're just going to let them be like that. And you definitely is being headstrong. So I think you're sitting back. Whoever this young person is coming to you, or you're coming to this person, they're sitting back and trying to just let your emotions run completely out to you kind of figure that it's not going nowhere. Basically, they're gonna let you just be Google to the point that it's going to be like all over the board, and then once it dries up or you get your own clue this is not working, then you would drop it. It would be no argumentation. They don't need to argue about your attitude, or this person don't need to be want you to argue about it or how they being super emotional. You're not going to pick up a person like that. Basically, you're not going to deal with a person like that, and you already made that decision and you're not moving towards it, or you're not defending it, or you're not doing nothing. You're still sitting on the fence and watching these candidates come in and kind of play themselves in a certain way, or play their whole routine out, and then you will make your decision, because each of them is giving you something to think about. So I mean, you got one wand person that's slow, and then you got this cup person that's over emotional, and you're headstrong. So you caught in the middle of just analyzing all these potential people that will be coming up in a month to see if that game they coming with is real. Either somebody's doing this with you, or you doing this with somebody by sitting back and just watching them play their game all the way out. And once it dries up, you will finally make your decision. And maybe you letting them play that game out because you're trying to use your internal wisdom when it comes to analyzing these people and seeing how can you craft them into a relationship. But most of them, what I'm looking like is you ain't finna craft with you is not gonna deal with none of these people that's coming in, whoever these suitors is. If you already coupled up, you just saying that letting your companion be a baby. You just letting them run their emotions out, and you're letting their emotions run out because in some way it's giving your companion some kind of attachment or leverage, or you just letting them play their emotions out because maybe you find it cute, because you find it cute to see the person frustrated, or or make a heel out of themselves, or it's something that is so childish it becomes euphoric after a while, and it's probably something you ain't seen your companion do, so you kind of find it's kind of interesting and cute, so you're just letting it go, and you're not really trying to argue the person and telling them don't do that. That's kind of weird. You're just letting it play out, so because you kind of finding it being kind of in a such a way childish and cute, kind of, for somebody to revert back to those emotional ways when they're already in a relationship. Either you're doing this with your companion, or your companion is doing this with you. So let's go and see what the last card is. Definitely, you're sitting back and watching it. Both of you, singles and coupled up. You definitely sitting back and analyzing these people, because you got the Knight of Swords again in the upright. You're sitting back watching these people, singles and couple up. You're singles, you watching every person that comes to you, especially this young person. You definitely watching that person making a heel out of themselves, or they watching you make a heel out of yourself by being over emotional on stuff that, technically speaking, they don't even have no input to argue about it. It's like you brought it on yourself, kind of. And then they're just sitting back and watching it. And it's like they trying to watch it and analyze it. And they're probably sitting back and analyzing it. And either somebody's doing this to you, or you're doing this to somebody else. They're sitting back and analyzing it and using you as a sketchboard or a map. Like, oh, you're acting over emotional. Now I don't want that in my relationship. Or you doing a fallout on petty stuff, acting like it's hurting you. Oh, you get butt hurt too fast. No, I don't want that in a relationship. They using you as a sketchboard. Either somebody's doing this to you, or you're doing this to somebody. You letting them play their game out, and you using them as a do and don't list. Oh, I don't want you to do that. I don't want somebody else that's going to do that. Nor do I want somebody else to do this. No, yeah, I see it playing out in you, and I'm not just going to do that. No, I'm not working with that. So that's what is going on. Whoever all these suitors is, you're sitting back and analyzing them. So that's for singles. As you being coupled up, you definitely letting your companion for the month run all this emotion, their laziness on you, letting it, you letting them run it all the way out. So once it's done, you letting them, this is going to be something totally different from the singles. Either you're doing this with your companion or your companion is doing this with you. You letting them run the whole gambit on their emotions, their feelings, their laziness, them don't want to do nothing, this, and this, to let them tire themselves out to say, damn, I worked everything. And then come back and then craft them again from ground up because you letting them clean their own emotional slate out. So when they come and come back to you, they're coming back to you bare. And you already analyzed them, so you're thinking of new ideas of how to put some new stuff in effect. But for that to work, you're letting your companion, or your companion is doing it with you, letting you run your whole gambit, run your whole routine bone dry so they can rebuild you up from scratch. That's what I'm hearing. I have to put it up out there like that. That with couples, you letting your companion just run bone dry on all the stuff they want to do, and then when they come back, they're gonna be thirsty or empty or needing to be rebuilt a different way. And maybe that's why the tower is here, because when you rebuild that person back, they're gonna be rebuilt back on a whole different level. So that's going to end up reshaping your relationship to move on better. So I hope you like this reading. Go ahead and hit subscribe. Leave your comments at the bottom. You can thumb it up or down, and I'll talk to you later.